Here's a question real quick. Gene Lebell or Gokar, because they seem pretty similar, I guess, in their skill set, versus Eddie Bravo. Just pure grappling match. You trained with them both. Who do you think wins? What's it like grappling with Judo Gene Lebell, Gokor Chivichyan, Eddie Bravo, and Joe Rogan? Well, there's one man that knows this, Dan the Wolfman, the guest of this episode. We're going to get a little insight into that whole world. Also, I asked him who he thinks is superior, who would win, Judo Gene Lebell or Eddie Bravo from 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. So you won't want to miss that. By the way, I'm going to be live with Dan the Wolfman this Sunday, June 27th, 2021. Make sure to check it out on his YouTube channel, Dan the Wolfman. It's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, just look for the video posted on June 27th, and then you can see it. We're going to talk martial arts. We're going to talk movies. We're going to have a lot of fun. So anyway, if you want to help support the channel, hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Hit that bell notification. And let's find out more how it was grappling with these greats. Hey, can you talk about how it was like training with Judo Gene Lebell? That must have been like, what, in the late 90s, I would think?
I started with... Let's see. I started with Gene and Gokor Chivichyan, highest on MMA Academy, North Hollywood. I started with them in kind of end of 2002, so I was still with Team Punishment, Tito, Rampage, Bayhead Miller, all those guys. And I saw Gene on Bruce Almighty. And you can spot me in Bruce Almighty running away from the meteor. Actually, it's pretty funny.
Oh, you guys are both in that? That's funny.
Yeah, so he's in it. I don't know if you could spot him very briefly, maybe. So I met him on set, and he's come here, kid. Let me tell you some stories. Talk to him, and yeah, you're welcome to come by the gym anytime. It was 3 different academies before, so I started with Gokor and Gene in 2002. And kind of off and on, and I was at other jiu-jitsu schools and even the 10th Planet Cult for a while and other things. But always off and on. I mean, I traveled to a bunch of gyms, and then I like really went back and really dedicated full time. And Gene would come in every Monday and teach the no-gi grappling class. And, you learn a lot from that guy. He's a book of knowledge. And even when I left to go overseas to the Middle East, he showed true concern, and he gave me one of his pro wrestling finishing holds book. And I'm like, well, okay, that's really nice. Thank you. What am I going to do with this? And didn't pro wrestle until years later. But while studying that in the Middle East and on the airplanes, I learned some interesting stuff. It's very hard to, from like 4 or 5 photos, like they did in the Black Belt magazine back then. It's hard to actually grasp things. But I picked some things up that that's interesting. Like instead of the Cobra neck crank, turning the guy with a half hatch, or cement mixer in wrestling in the Midwest, they call it. But the reverse, rolling the guy the other way. I have a video on like rolling front headlocks, rolling Cobra neck crank. I kind of got all that from Gene's book. So Gene's great. And even at 83, when I was training with him a few years back, he could still show taking a guy backwards, kind of like I did against Korean Zombie, very slowly, a drag back, but this way. And he could actually lock the guy and not break his neck, but have just the pressure where you're going to have to tap with just his belly and putting both hands on the stomach. Right. Stuff that I can kind of do sometimes, and you see in my Combatives of Street Jiu-Jitsu DVD on BJJ Fanatics. Like I show that a couple times, and I could kind of like cross face and use gravity to contort a guy, and he still at 83 had the precision to do something like that, a twisting that could actually break your neck and possibly the nerve, possibly choke to death, like legit. He could still do that at 83.
That's crazy.
And just with his belly, and put 2 hands on your stomach for the final bit for the tap. Like even without the crossface, like I do it. Like he could just get things in possession and let gravity and your body fold. Gokor Chivichyan, no one gives credit to. Gokor Chivichyan, he can tap out me and tap out anybody in the world. And I've seen UFC fighters and I have him reverse knee barring Jay Haran, no offense, stunt guy, and stuff like Equalizer 2, Jay Haran, UFC, Bellator. No disrespect to him, but old Gokor that at 50, I think, doing a reverse knee bar to him, slow as a turtle. He can move slow as a turtle, and you can't do anything. He has control over not only his body, but your body. And I have seen him tap out everybody moving as slow as a turtle.
Wow. Did he pick up most of his skills from Gene Lebell, or was he already doing grappling
A
before he
heck of a
teamed up?
lot. He started wrestling, I think, at 4 years old, and
Oh, he's
eventually judo and sambo after that. And then when he first came to the U.S., however long, he hooked up with Gene, and I think Gene dumped all his knowledge into Gokor. Gokor Chivichyan, I respect you a ton, and everybody should respect that guy more.
so
And it's
he's
too bad we never got Gokor versus Hickson back in the day, because things would have been really interesting, even though Gokor didn't have the professional, fighting background or anything. I mean, they used to be blurred out, him toying with Ken Shamrock back in the day. No offense, Ken. His face used to be blurred out, but I knew who it was. The video that used to go around of him toying with, you know, UFC champion Ken Shamrock in that era.
interesting.
And
Here's a
Oleg
question.
Taktarov went to him, legitimate Sambo guy, UFC 8 champion. Oleg Taktarov went to him. I think Dean Lister used to go to Gokor back in the day. Eric Paulson ultimately respects Gokor Chivichyan. Like, yeah, even the jiu-jitsu community is so clueless. And for fighting grappling, they kind of have Hayastan's kind of the best style. Judo, jiu-jitsu, sambo, catch wrestling. Anything that works, use it.
Here's an
Gene LeBell,
interesting
Gene LeBell
question.
does the Aikido wrist locks too, you know?
Sure, throw that in
Use
there.
it, kid. Beat them with what they don't know, kid.
So you've trained with the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, right? Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo. I think I had seen a video on your YouTube.
Yeah.
Now here's a question real quick. Gene LeBell or Gokar, because they seem pretty similar, I guess, in their skill set, versus Eddie Bravo. Just pure grappling match. You trained with them both. Who do you think wins?
I think Gene LeBell would tie his shoes with that charlatan, and Gokar would tie him in a knots.
Oh, really? Okay. How
Yeah,
was your experience training with Joe Rogan and Bravo, by the way?
I mean, Bravo's a skilled guy. Rogan's a skilled guy.
But they're doing pure jujitsu, right? Whereas it seems like Gene LeBell, they're tying in everything: the catch
Yeah,
wrestling, the sambo, obviously
yeah,
judo, jujitsu.
yeah. And Luthez gave Gene basically a badass award, a beat SOB award. Like Gene's the real deal. And Gokar is definitely the real deal. Like even Gokar, I don't know how he is now the last few years, but I mean even Gokar at 50, what I saw him do. Most jiu-jitsu guys ain't doing that at 50. I don't think Rogan's touched the mat for 8 or 9 years. I don't think.
Joe Rogan hasn't?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, that's maybe not. I thought he trains all the time, but
No, maybe privately with someone he trusts, not to hurt his neck and back.
oh,
You know.
interesting.
But I rolled with Joe for 2 years.
How was that experience?
Joe was very, very strong and very methodical. And back then, before I really got with Gene harping on me, go for more submissions, be more aggressive, and Gokor, I was like slow, methodical, position then. So me and Joe basically were even, and we'd be in each other's lockdown, aka scorpion lock that you see in pro wrestling in the 30s, a scorpion lock, aka the lockdown. We'd be in each other's half guard all the time. We'd eventually reverse after 10, 15 minutes. The other guy would be on top of the other guy's half guard. And then Joe would quit out of either gassing or mental frustration, usually a combination of both, because we couldn't do much to each other, to be quite frank. I was a purple belt under Eddie at the time. He was a brown belt. Good grip strength, same as me. We're both kind of the same body type. I'm
Yeah, about the
5'11",
same
he's like
size.
5'8". We're both like very wide for our body
Stocky,
types.
sure.
And he was, on a lot of juice and HGH and stuff too. Come on. And I was not. So, we were both about the same strength, and I was clean. So, he was very skilled, very good. One day Joe lost it on me. Like he literally like was pissy, like threw like a little hissy fit. And Joe, I'm not talking shit. These things happen in training. You're frustrated. He's like, you're not doing anything. Like he was just frustrated because it was boring and probably mentally boring. Um, and I'm like, I laughed. I'm like, Joe, we have the same styles, bro. We're exactly the same, reversing each other in each other's lockdown, having trouble passing it because we both have strong legs. It's like, oh, God damn it, you're right. Sorry. And Joe's always showed me respect. He just hasn't gone online since Eddie backstabbed me to talk about what a nice guy and knowledgeable guy and how strong I am and skilled I am. Like he used to. He used to pop up and actually once got him to admit he shouldn't be calling the oblique kick the elliptical kick, which he did 2 UFC pay-per-views in a row when John Jones was doing it. I gave him shit online. Everyone bagged on me because what do I know versus the great Joe Rogan. And then Joe's like, Dan's right. He's very knowledgeable. I put pictures of what an elliptical is versus like the 2 ways of doing a chasse boss, jeet direct, aka oblique kick. I'm like, it's not either of those, so that's not a good nomenclature. Let's go back to oblique kick or linear kick. And Joe basically, said, yeah, Dan's right. He's knowledgeable. He's a nice guy. He's a smart guy. He's nice to everybody, blah, blah, blah. So he used to do that for me. I don't know where I stand with Joe. The last time I saw him, he was talking to Buffer. The last time I know we saw each other was talking to Buffer backstage at a UFC. And he went out of his way to like stop the conversation. And him and Bruce shook my hand. Bruce has always been good to me from the old days as well. You got to realize, first UFC I went to was UFC 19. And first time I met both of them was UFC 37.5, the very first UFC Joe Rogan was going to be the commentator at. And I was there taking pictures, riding with the fighters. There wasn't like mean ass security like there is now. Like I was cage side, literally just walking around wherever I did with a disposable camera, taking photos right through the cage. Like, Dana, everybody knew me. I got a picture. I'm in like the back of me, like with Dana in the cage and Pete Spratt and stuff. Like, I'm old school and I go back. And so, back then, I don't know. I don't know where I stand with Joe now, but he was a skilled guy. I did ask him to start on the feet a few times. I said, Joe, you ever want to get together and spar privately sometime? He never wanted to. So take for that what you will. But I do know he had some, I got some very serious neck and back issues and nerve damage. And every time I step on the mat, it's risking life and limb, potentially, probably. I need to get new MRIs. But, he's a rich dude, and now he's a super rich dude. So
Yeah,
it is what it is. He knows about Taekwondo, and he knows about Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys both have those Taekwondo, black belts backgrounds. You guys
obviously he was better than me.
though.
He was obviously better than me and competed at a higher level than I did. But I had pretty good kicks for a guy my size,
Did you mention, I think, if I heard you right, you had a falling out with Eddie Bravo?
Yes, I had a falling out with Eddie because money is more important to Eddie than respect and allegiance to your students and people that respect you.
Okay. Yeah, it's a shame. Sorry to hear that, man.
Yep. I was with him for 2.5 years. I opened not my money, but I convinced, and he was the one with the idea to have me open. It was going to be a kids martial arts school to have me open the 10th Planet and do that. And then there was a lot of issues, and there's still been issues, and they went through 9 instructors in 1 year. So the issue wasn't me. They went through 9 instructors in 1 year, and who knows how many since then.
That's going to do it for this episode, guys. Make sure to check out a previous video I did with Dan called What's It Like Really Sparring UFC Champions. We talk about that, but for a whole lot more in-depth mixed martial arts stuff, the guy's been through it all. Check out his YouTube channel, like I mentioned. It's Dan the Wolfman. You'll find a lot of really cool videos on there.